Hello, my name is Steve Baker. Today we want to start a series on how to administer the Vox IP VoIP system. This system series will cover the 13.x version of Vox IP software. And once again, it's going to give you an insight on how to administer the system, administer your end devices, telephones, complete administration, trunk setups, all your different inbound, outbound routing. Really, from this series, you should be able to walk away and be able to administer a Vox IP system and not have any issues whatsoever and really have a good understanding of what's going on with our product. So let's go ahead and log into the system. And when you first log into the system, you're always taken to the dashboard. And you can always come back to this by clicking on the dashboard up top. And what it gives you is the actual performance and environmental statistics you need on your system. Everything from the last time the system was rebooted, what's the actual load averages and CPU in the last 1 and 5, 15 minutes. You can also look at all the statistical information. Like right now, this test system has 2 SIP trunks connected to it, so it tells you how many that are online. We have a phone that's actually logged into the system, so it can tell you how many users. So let's say you had 50 phones and you wanted to log into the system, you could easily just come over here to the statistical little dialog box and click on the users online and see how many phones you have online. And if you know you have 50 and there's a phone missing, you can start doing your troubleshooting there. Any of the manufacturer news and notes you will get from us are automatically updated in the dashboard. That's an RSS feed that we update weekly. And last but not least, you can also see all the statistical information on the actual modules that are running the system. Everything from the Asterisk engine, the MySQL database, and you can see right here the system firewall. We actually disable the system firewall that comes from the Asterisk engine. We don't want our phone system doing firewall services to put extra stress and load on it. So we'd always put the phone system behind some type of enterprise-based firewall. There's a Cisco ASA, Checkpoint. You can go on and on and on. But we always recommend putting that behind a firewall, not having public IP addresses on your phone system. So let's go ahead and get started from the very beginning. And one of the things you're going to have to do when you start configuring a system is you're going to have to get the system available for other devices to actually authenticate it. So for example, we're going to start in the very beginning how to set up extensions on the phone system, and then we'll log into an actual phone and we'll show you what configuration needs to be done as well on that. So to get into the system and set up a end device, it's real easy. As all these are drop down options here at the very top, we're going to go to the applications, we're going to go to extensions, and we're going to set up a phone from scratch. Now if you look here, the phones, our Vox IP phone system comes with a lot of endpoint or device capabilities. Right now, the default SIP protocol is JSIP that comes on the system. We actually have this system enabled with CHAN SIP. They're just different flavors of SIP. And we want to come down here to the CHAN SIP extension, and that's pretty much the default that we're using right now. We want to create an extension. And once again, your range of extensions is actually defined by what you want to create from scratch. The system does not have any limitations on what extensions. We recommend staying in from the, whether it's a 3-digit or 4-digit, stay in the 1,000 to 5,000. And we kind of, as a manufacturer, use 6,000 and above as different things like ring groups, IVRs. But if you don't want to use that standard, you're perfectly well in your own right to configure the extensions on whatever length of numbers you want to use, where, like I said, 3, 4, even 5. We have one customer that has 6-digit extensions. They're so large. You want to put a display name in there. So, for example, we'll put John Hancock in there. We come in here with a super secret. We're just going to put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It even tells you that's really weak. You can choose even the languages you want. If you want to add different languages to the system, we'll just leave it default. It'll be English. We also have a ability to add this user to a automatic call distribution, ACD. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and turn that off. Say none. The next thing you need to do is you need to decide up at the voicemail tab, are you going to have voicemail enabled or not? We're going to say yes. We're going to make the password. Let's just make it 4343. We can also require from the same extension, if someone logs in, they have to provide a password or not. So if you have this extension 2999 and someone walks up and presses the voicemail button on the phone, based off the configuration, if we say no, it'll always log you in immediately without any authentication from that extension. But if we say yes, no matter who accesses the voicemail box, whether it's local on the phone or someone does it with a different feature code, they have to put in a password. So we're going to say yes. If we want to add an email so that user can receive their voicemails as email, we can put in their email address. If we want to put in a pager, if we want them to receive that, we have to say yes for the email attachment. We can also play the caller ID and the envelope. So the envelope gives you the time and date when it was received. We can also delete the voicemail as soon as the email has been sent, so they don't have the email and a voicemail on their phone, if you like. So we're just going to say yes, leave that, but we're going to leave the default. We'll come back to VMX Locator later. And then we're going to come over here to Other. And by default, since we did not add them to iSymphony, which is the third-party ACD that the Vox IP system is, we're going to turn all these to no. Once you submit that, that is the standard default setup for the Vox IP system. And once again, you can see there's two John Hancocks here, but we went ahead and added him to $29.99. Now you saw when I hit submit, the little red apply button comes up there. Think of it as just like using a router. You put in the configuration, it automatically goes into RAM. That's configuration change, it takes immediate effect. But if you want to save it, you have to hit the apply button. And that's just like doing a router, doing your save config. So that is the basic setup on how you set up a phone in the Vox IP system to connect. So we've only done the server side configuration. When we come back, we're going to look at a telephone example and put in the same credentials and show you how we can log in to a phone and make that phone authenticate to the system.